Hallo und willkommen zurück zu The Forgotten City. Nun, keine Ahnung, was mit letztem passiert ist. Wir gehen einfach mal rein. Mal gucken, was auf uns zukommt. Ich weiß noch ein bisschen, was ich gemacht habe. Ich bin irgendwie in diese eine Villa da eingebrochen von dem Typen, den ich nicht kandidieren lassen soll. Ich soll einen anderen kandidieren lassen, um Schlüssel zu kriegen. Dieser eine Soldat belästigt diesen anderen. Die eine oben ist irgendwie Christin, der eine Typ begeht Selbstmord. Kein Plan. Die andere bestiehlt und die hat irgendwie 2000 da in ihrer Truhe. Da habe ich einen Schlüssel geklaut, das weiß ich noch. Diese eine goldene Statue bewacht nochmal 4000 und ein paar Pfeile. Ja, kein Plan. Müssen das Video nochmal angucken, was alles passiert ist, aber das sind 3 Stunden. Das sind 3 Stunden, die ich aufgenommen habe. Wo bin ich jetzt wieder? Hier bin ich wieder. Okay. Werde ich das jetzt zu bringen. Maleligas. Moin, Magistrate.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? We have? Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule. I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed. And you had to start over. Is that about right? If so, what happened? Ah, I see. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned. Now, I assume you saw... Of course, what is it? Yes? Why do you say that? What? That's... I'm speechless. How do you know? Of course, this isn't your first loop, is it?
Genau.
You must stop him from winning the election. I expect you'll need some kind of leverage on him, but I can't be seen to be involved in this, of course, so you'll be on. You better not waste any time. And me swada, goddess of the... Good, thank you. Ah, you've returned. Of course, what... Yeah. Why do you say that? Despicable, but did it break the golden rule? Then it seems that gods are not concerned. It looks like you'll have to continue your... Of course. Yeah. Why do you say... So I'm told. This is truly atrocious behavior, which undermines the very foundations of our democracy. Thank you for bringing this to my attention, but before we proceed, I must ask, are you sure he's the one? Ah, I see. It looks like you'll have to... Ask them. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. Good. Now, Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians. It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform. As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent. My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as on guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse and discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest. I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents. Unfortunately, it just seems to have emboldened certain elements instead. Very well. You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That meant, perhaps you're not aware, he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been. Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you, that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here, we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and, most importantly, he is able to continue living. A privilege that would be taken away from all of us, were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is... I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now,
Ach komm schon.
was there something else? Thank you.
Gut. Wie kann ich die Leute umändern mit dem Wählen?
Oh, look, you're back. You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought. I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving. Oh, and I suppose I'll just have to take the word of a know-nothing barbarian who just arrived, will I? Huh. I trust you.
Was für eine Bitch. Ich meine natürlich, sehr nette Bewohnerin dieses Landes. Demetrius. Wie geht es jetzt?
What now?
Ah, stimmt.
Whatever.
Equitia.
Isn't the great
Fear
temple
is proof
majestic?
of a degenerate mind.
A new faith. I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge. Oh my. I suppose you... Oh, a hurry. Let's do it your way. You really don't know? I am one of the priestesses, charged with keeping the sacred flame in Rome's shrine of Vesta burning. I take it you know who Vesta is? Vesta is the mother goddess of hearth and home, and the guardian of the Roman people. Put simply, I tend to the temples, ensure their sanctity is preserved. Why? So that we continue to honor our gods, invite their blessings, and not bring their wrath down upon us, of course. It's vital that we keep them appeased and remain in their good graces.
Ich weiß nicht warum, aber ich verwechsel Huldigen immer mit etwas Schlechten, wie beispielsweise Ketzerei. Ich weiß aber nicht genau warum.
I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings.
Ich werde aber auch keine Allzwang-Session machen.
And in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Nee,
As you wish.
eventuell ein anderes Mal.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you're... Yes, I understand. What else? That's true. I know. What else? Yeah. It's as I feared. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here? And did you happen to catch her name?
Charon.
I see. And was this Charon by any chance wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. But don't follow too closely. We can't have people thinking we're bathing together.
Ich folge trotzdem einfach so. Falls Leute es doch denken, ist mir halt egal. Ach guck mal, ich mach's rückwärts.
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon.
Please, go and stop him. And come back
You
to
have
me
to
once
do
we're no
something.
longer in danger.
A man arrived in the baths.
Ja, ist schon
You
gesagt.
have to do something. Thank you. I have to hide. Find... Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. I have to go. Ugh.
Jetzt zu sie sterben. Ermordet.
The shrine is collapsing.
Oder nicht so.
Stop right there. I am looking for Tiberius Quinctius Christmas, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, Thank you. Now tell me, who are... A small community. Ha! I was told Quintius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quintius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe? A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists, there's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it. Very well, here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burned half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process.
Bei der letzten Session abgebrochen hätte.
All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty and wants him dead. The details are not my concern. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not? Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words? Well, I'd say that's rather convenient, since I was planning to kill you all anyway.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Nicht sterben, nicht sterben, nicht sterben, nicht sterben, nicht sterben. So, soll ich was mal mitnehmen? Gut, also ich brauche den Bogen. Sonst schnappt er sich den Bogen. Boah, echt kein Plan. Moin du, ich führe schon das 10.000. Gespräch mit dir.
But from what? Because but from what? And how? You well, if you. Oh.
Dann wird dieses Überzeuger erstmal alle. Wo waren denn nochmal alle? Oh, sie ist hier. Ach, sie hat eh kein Wahlrecht.
And this.
Fear is proof of a degenerate. Not unfull. See, Sensius, this place will be different with that sleaze at home. Hey, if you think you can, you know.
Okay, gut. Ihn und den anderen kann ich nicht umstimmen. Sind zu sehr von sich überzeugt. Oder von ihrer Meinung. Wie auch immer. Hallo Magistrat.
We're finally alone. Is that about? Seems rather. If I did, I will.
Da spiele ich noch so ein bisschen.
Oh. Yeah. What? An assassin? What are you talking about? Then what are you doing here talking to me? Why aren't you out there trying to stop him? You best go, quickly. As magistrate, I hereby declare him an enemy of Rome and authorize his execution by your hand, forthwith. I don't believe so, no. It's not a crime to carry out the lawful order of a magistrate. Any way you can. Despite my weapons ban, it's been my experience one can always find a weapon if one looks hard enough. Thank you. Please act quickly before it's too late.
Ich brauche einen Bogen.
Fear is proof of a degenerate.
Hast du nicht Bögen gemacht? Werte? Handsome dude.
A new face. Well, nice to.
Hammer könnte ich benutzen. Das war knapp. Man findet immer eine Waffe, wenn man nur genug dran hast. Ja. Gib noch eine. Jetzt ja alles beobachten. Wer denn? Ich weiß gar nicht, was ihr meint. Toiletten. Gemeinschaftstoiletten. Hm.
Help! You... A man... You have to do. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now you just have to. Thank you. I have to hide. What? All right.
Okay, eventuell schaffe ich es diesmal, ja.
Stop right there. Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now.
War die schon nicht am Anfang verschlossen?
Filthy, lying degenerate.
Ich habe ein Boot. Und dann kann ich direkt Bescheid geben.
Citizen, we'll speak again after you've carried out my order. Ah, I see. Well, if you stopped one person from breaking it and you're still here, then there must be someone else about to break it still. Allow me to explain. When I discovered the ritual to Proserpina, the instructions came with a warning about paradoxes. The crux of it is this. If you do anything to change the course of history in such a way that your very being here is impossible, you will have created a paradox. To illustrate, when the golden rule is broken, I will open the doorway that will bring you here to prevent it from being broken. If you manage to succeed in saving our lives, then I will have no reason to open the doorway, and you will never have come here. A paradox. You see? The same thing would happen if you, say, inadvertently, allowed me to die. If I can't summon you, then you can't be here, obviously. If either of those things were to happen, I am given to understand you would be flung back to your original time, having changed the course of history for us, and yourself. So the fact that you are still here means someone is going to break the golden rule, and there is yet work to do. Understand? Excellent.
Good.
So, it looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Nee, das war's jetzt mal.
Thank you.
Ich muss ihn unbedingt abwählen. Hast du sie nochmal umgehen? Na klar, ziemlich von der besten Seite. Was sind meine Aufgaben? Equita in den Bädern treffen.
A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. What else? And
Karen.
but don't follow too closely.
Ich laufe rückwärts. Es wird komplett unverdächtig bleiben. Niemand will was erwarten. Erledigt.
All right, you're here. You were asking how I knew the young woman you met by the river was wearing a hood. Here, look down at the bottom of the baths. It's a little hard to make out in this light. If only we could see. Oh, what a marvelous lamp. But do you see it? Somebody waking up by a river in a forest to find a hooded figure with a coin. It's just as you described it, only your pronunciation is a little off. The name you heard wasn't Charon. It was C-H-A-R-O-N, as in Charon, the ferryman of the dead. Charon, who, in exchange for the right coin, helps the souls of the newly deceased cross the Styx, the river that separates the land of the living from the land of the dead.
When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, but all I found was some loose change. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
I'm so sorry, my friend. I'm so sorry. I take it you know what this means. I'm afraid so. It's all starting to make sense. All these people whose last memory was running from the fires toward the river. It seems none of them escaped with their lives after all. Perhaps we should be grateful they don't remember their final moments. It also tells us that the Golden Rule is the work of Pluto, the god of the underworld, and why his epithet has always been Father of Riches. I know it's a lot to take in, and you look as if you have questions, so I'll try to answer them if I can. Now that we know where we don't have much to go on, except the old stories. I remember 4 in particular. Hercules, the demigod and son of Jupiter. Orpheus, a Thracian poet. Sisyphus, a king of Ephyra. And Aeneas, a Trojan hero. Hercules was able to leave the underworld because he cowed its god with his strength. Sisyphus and Orpheus both relied on their wits instead. They persuaded the goddess of the underworld, Proserpina, to help them escape. And finally, Aeneas was able to escape with the help of his spirit guide, who led him through a secret gate. So it seems you have 2 options: to confront the god of the underworld head-on, or find a way to escape with the help of Proserpina or some other guide. All Romans try to avoid saying it, and reason is quite simple. He might hear us. You may refer to him as Pluto, if you wish, but you'll only be calling attention to yourself. Do so at your own peril. Shh! Is everyone so blunt? That option would be the boldest, but also the only way to learn the truth about the Golden Rule, and maybe even put an end to it. As I said, Hercules managed to overpower the god of the underworld, but he was a demigod. Forgive my candor, but you are no Hercules.
Oh.
Are you telling me that you can? I won't pretend to understand exactly what that means, but if that's true, then perhaps you stand a chance. So, if you want to confront him, I'll help you as much as I can. Who knows? Perhaps your name will be uttered in the same sentence as Hercules one day. But first, you'd need an audience with you-know-who, and for that, you'll need to enter the great temple overlooking the city. The problem is, the door has been sealed shut for as long as I've lived here, and there doesn't even seem to be a keyhole. I suspect the answer lies in the desecrated obelisk in front of it. I'm not sure if you noticed, but there are 4 plaques missing from its base. It looks as though somebody, or a series of somebodies, forcibly removed them, and in doing so, dishonored and angered our divine keeper. If you could recover and replace all 4 of those missing plaques, I imagine he might be willing to receive an audience again. It's the towering stone monument with 4 sides and a pyramid-shaped head that stands before the great
Okay, hast du noch die 4 Tafeln finden?
dedication to the god of this place. You'll find
Jetzt
them
jedes
all
Mal
over
dran denken, die
Rome.
Meuchelmörder
But
auszuschalten.
of course they were looted from Egypt many years ago. It seems one of them made its way here too, although how is a mystery. However, this one is unusual in that each of the 4 sides is decorated in a different style. Roman, Greek, Egyptian, and another
German.
I don't recognize. That means you'll need to recover 4
Römisch,
different
Griechisch,
plaques.
Ägyptisch und
Roman,
Deutsch.
Greek, Egyptian, and a 4th, a mystery plaque. I don't know. But perhaps you should begin. Good. It would have. And there's only.
Okay, ich bin ganz ehrlich, es gibt das einmal. Ich werde das irgendwann nochmal wieder nachholen. Aber ich will jetzt nicht alles anhören. Ich bin ganz ehrlich, bin todmüde. Oh Gott.
Also, if the
Ich werde nochmal mit dir reden. Denn irgendwann will ich nochmal mit dir herkommen. Alter. Weitere Filtern zu achten. Die Rest euch beim nächsten Mal da an. So, es tut mir leid. So, wie lange habe ich jetzt hier gespielt? Gar nicht mehr so lange. Auf jeden Fall. Auch wenn es jetzt kurz war und ich gerade sehr viel Text geskippt habe, es tut mir auch sehr leid. Hoffe ich einfach, es hat Spaß gemacht. Gleich bis um 4 rumgerannt, habe einmal geguckt, was ein Assassin jetzt einmal ist. Hat die Assassin umgebracht. Ist mit ihr gesprochen hier in den Bädern. Beim nächsten Mal werden wir bestimmt schon eine der Tafeln finden. Mal gucken. Nun, dann bis zum nächsten Mal. Habt noch einen schönen Morgen, Mittag, Abend oder eine gute Nacht. Ciao.